Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be video 2 and today I'd like to show you and talk about this tank. So this is set up as a crystal tank. It has ADA Amazonia for substrate. It's filtered by a double sponge filter with a canister at the bottom, and it's powered by an Aqua LPAP Mini. Excuse the dog in the background having a scratch. So as you can see, there are also some fish in this tank. So these are Apistogramma pandurino fry. They are in here because the mother started trying to eat them when she wanted to breed again. And they're small enough that they don't cause a problem with the shrimp or the baby shrimp at the moment. It is temporary. You'll note that it's predominantly crystal black shrimp in the tank. But there are a few extras in here. So the crystal blacks, they're not pure black line, they threw a couple of reds. But I've also been experimenting with breeding with the shrimp, and I crossed a crystal red, 2 PRLs I have in here somewhere. They were crossed with shadow pandas and they produced mishlings. So a mishling is a crossbreed, and that happens between a crystal shrimp, be it crystal black or crystal red, and a Taiwan bee, whether that be a blue bolt, a panda, anything like that. What that results in is a mishling. It's a German word for crossbreed, and it has some interesting results. So this crystal red there is a mishling. What that means, it has genetics from both the crystal shrimp and the Taiwan bee shrimp. Now, it's not something I would suggest doing unless you have tank space. So mishlings in a way are kind of pointless. I think they look quite cool. There's a black one in here that is mostly white with some black on it, which is unusual. But if you breed them, the mishlings, if you breed it back with another mishling, you're probably only going to get crystal babies. There'll be a little bit of Taiwan bee DNA in there. If you breed the mishling with a crystal, then again you'll get crystals and maybe 1 or 2 mishlings with Taiwan bee DNA. The way to do it is if you breed the mishling with another Taiwan bee, you're still going to get some crystal babies, but you're going to strengthen the gene pool and the genetics for the crystal bee, for the crystal shrimp, and still have some Taiwan bees. Again, you only really want to do this if you're interested in it and you have tank space for it. These will have their own tank eventually or sold on. It was just a fun experiment to see what happened. So in this tank currently, we have wood with Anubias variegated glued onto the wood. There's also some cull shrimps from my Neos, which I saw a second ago, jumped away somewhere. There are 2 PRLs, pure redline shrimp, in here, both females. I lost a lot of my crystals and Taiwan bees during kind of halfway through lockdown in the UK, so maybe April, May time. So as most people will know, for the water for crystals, Taiwan bees, you should be using RO water with remineralizer. I use Salty Bee, GH+. There was an odd odour coming from the tanks, and then some shrimp started dying off. Nothing was coming up on the test kits. There was no ammonia, there was no chlorine. I suspected chloramine, but I couldn't have told you what chloramine smelt like. It was just an odd odour. We thought we were doing the best thing we could by doing water changes, RO top-offs, the TDS was fine, but the odour remained and the shrimp were just dying off. So I decided it would be a good idea to have a look and see if we needed to change the RO system, change the filters in it. And opening up the pre-filter chamber, the odour was strong in the pre-filter chamber. My theory is that when lockdown happened, the local authorities, councils, etc. were adding extra stuff because there was more water being used, because everyone was stuck at home. and they've added extra chloramine or something to the water that they don't really have to notify you about. And the RO pre-filter for some reason hung on to it, and every time I was flushing RO water through, I was adding in more of this whatever it was. Now, I couldn't tell you what chloramine smells like. I would have imagined similar to chlorine, but whatever it was killing the shrimp, so we had a big loss. So the crystal blacks were the only things that really remained. I had a few blue steels and only 2 PRLs out of a colony that remained. They were both females. I didn't know what to do with them, so that's where the Michelins come from. They were in and they crossbred with a shadow panda. And of course, no one's coming out because I want them to be seen, because the Michelins are quite cool, some of them. Some are a bit lower grade, the white's not great, but a couple of them, particularly the blacks, are looking pretty cool. This tank gets a weekly water change. It gets 5%, so this tank volume is about 40 litres or a US 10 gallon. I'll give you a tour eventually of the whole shrimp rack, but there's 2 racks that look like this, 2 double racks. And I'm just going to go through tank at a time. They're in various stages of shrimp with fish, with fry, fish with fry, holding tanks, grow out tanks, etc. The goal is eventually we'll all become shrimp tanks. One side will be for Caradina, the other side will be Caradina and a few Neo-Caradina. But yeah, that's it for now. Any questions, just let me know. And I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.